Friday before Christmas, December. Art, what edition is this? 4007? What?
44,
44? Ooh,
43, somewhere around there.
in that range. That's fine. 43, 44. It is, what is it? The 20th of December. It's nice and warm down here in FLA. It's cold up there where you guys are, and drones are they're not dropping, but there are drone droppings.
Yeah, you want to call it drone droppings.
So we got some good stuff coming up today. So, Art, anything new? Didn't something happen in the industry this week? Did Toshiba do something, or
Not that.
did you hear about it? I heard something. It went by my thing today. One of my automated updates. Something happened with Toshiba. Not a big deal.
I don't get my updates until about 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So it could have come across and I haven't seen it yet.
It was along the lines, I think, but then I look back, didn't I think either in the summertime when they were announcing a reduction on 3,000 people or something, restructuring. This was maybe in July, could have been before, but I think something happened on that front. Anyway,
Right.
okay.
I do know. I got a call from a buddy of mine yesterday. Who works for Lexmark, and he got his position got eliminated. So I'm thinking not only his position, it could be other positions as well.
Absolutely, probably a lot more. And I mean, IBM, I think, went through a big layoff. Announced one. It's still happening, dude. I mean, there's a lady I listen to on TikTok. She's an HR person. She's got a daily update of all the layoffs, and it's huge. It's not. I mean, we've all been through the layoff cycles before, but this one's a big one. It seems, from all high tech and everything. Interesting, unfortunately. Matter of fact, so Art, what do you know about it? I mean, I know some folks that are quote seasoned reps that are still looking. Right. So yeah, you've heard of anyone actually picking up a seasoned rep picking up a job? I heard Kyocera did something, I think.
No, I see.
Art's taking care of his communications issues. He's the hub of transactions between now and the end of the year.
Sure.
John, what's new in your world? What are you
We get
doing?
those
You doing
sales.
print servers, serverless print, cloud print? What's going on?
There is a more and more I am getting asked about. We want to do what we've traditionally done before, but we don't want servers. We want nothing in-house. It all has to happen seamlessly through the cloud.
Wow.
And whether that's scanning, intelligent scanning, printing, tracking, collection for chargeback, like in legal firms, there's a lot of movement towards cloud hosted solutions.
Wow.
And that brings with it its own challenges, I think.
Oh yeah.
There's because it's not in-house anymore. You don't have control over it as much as you used to. So all the security that's layered on top of working in the cloud just makes our job of printing and scanning all the more difficult.
Wow. So, I mean, I did a deal with one of my clients was Printer Logic back in the day.
Yep.
Long time ago. We did a market study, actually. This is how long ago it was. They wanted to know how to price their product. That's how long.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
interesting. Printer Logic is still around.
Well, by name, I know the company, they were bought.
Oh, okay.
They cashed out, which,
Gotcha.
All the owners are gone. Not they've moved on, right? Nothing bad. It's
Gotcha.
Keeping the name is still Printer Logic.
Still,
a big company bought them.
Still a viable product. I mean,
it's
still out there. I'm against them in some cases.
Okay.
But there's a lot of what they do overlaps with a lot of what we sell anyway. So not much of a need to pick up that product. But yeah, things are changing. Pricing models are changing. You no longer own the software you use. It's all rented. It's all subscription based.
Forever. Yeah.
That's changing a lot of things. And it's, there's some pluses and minuses. But that trend is moving towards the, Microsoft, I think, is leading the charge with.
Oh my gosh.
I never want to give you software. You're going to have to pay for it forever.
Never who gets a shrink wrap piece of software anymore? Nobody. Nobody.
Yeah. it's tough, but that,
It
yeah.
is tough because unlike, the cable channels and the streaming channels, if you don't like Netflix, you can cancel it and pick up
Mhm.
something else around, same with Max. And if you want to pick it up for 3 months, you can do that. With Microsoft, you pay them $8 a month for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. I have one of those subscriptions.
yeah, I don't like that.
No.
I don't.
And they're banking on you're going to forget about it and just keep paying them forever.
Right. Or having, well, what I don't like, and I'm going through this right now, I'm trying to figure out a different way to do it. It's not the money, it's the fact that if you don't, you're tied up with them. It's almost as, Google never did that, although Google got all our data. So there's a big, I think Microsoft is getting the data and screwing us. But anyway,
Yes.
that's a whole nother.
Google can make up the whatever they're not charging us for software with what they're
Yeah.
consuming with our data.
And if everyone knows it, okay, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I'm back.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hey, that's okay, Art. We're just talking about you.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
I mean, we'll
Hey.
talk about this real quick because I got to get it out of my blood. So the beginning of the huge football season here in the next couple of weeks, between now and the end of January till Super Bowl. I didn't realize there were games on today. It's like,
Yeah.
who the hell? Wow.
Getting ready for the college playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, that's first one tonight is Penn and Notre Dame. No. It's Notre Dame, Indiana. Penn State plays Ohio State, I think. Is that who they
Penn
play?
State plays
Tomorrow.
BYU tomorrow.
Oh, BYU. Okay.
My son's going up to the game. 12 o'clock.
Nice.
In State College. With all the 20 glorious degrees it's going to be.
I know, man. That's yeah, but that's football, dude. That's game in
football
Buffalo,
weather.
the first snowball. That was cool.
Oh God.
And when was the other snowball? Where was that in Notre Dame or not Notre Dame? Minnesota, right? There's been 2 big snowball games.
Yep. And this year, the one that when Pittsburgh was in Cleveland, there was a tremendous snowstorm the second half. And that was fun to watch.
It's just flurries in the beginning of the game, and then all of a sudden they're shoveling the lines, and then before you know it.
That up there by the lake is a bad place to be if you don't like snow. But fun times. It's very exciting. Makes it very exciting for the next few months.
I know, I'm gonna like it. Art, what's going on here? So let's talk what's new in technology, Art. Anything? I know that you're closing out the year. What can you tell us?
Just working on closing out the year, finishing it up, got an order today. Our last day of the month is Monday. I don't think I'm going to see anything on Monday. I think next week is going to be a pretty dead week since Christmas falls on Wednesday. Yeah, people off on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
2 weeks down. That's what I say. I mean,
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's going to be a strange week, and next week is going to be strange as all. Strange.
New Year's.
Yeah, with New Year's.
Yep, same thing.
I love it.
Been interesting couple weeks coming up. I'm glad we close our month before all of this happens, because then I'm not there working a day before, day after Christmas, day before New Year's, going up to New Year's, and trying to get deals done.
That's happened though many times, right? I mean, Christmas Eve for some reason is in my head from days gone by. It's like, yeah, it's Christmas Eve, but I can just,
Hasn't been in my head for probably the last 12 or 15 years, because we always close our month early, 23rd. So it always falls before Christmas, which is actually good. I can remember 80s, 90s, you're working up until Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, just trying to get that last deal in place.
It might have been before I got back in before I didn't get in the copiers till 99. So I was selling tech since 87, 6.
That's the same thing with tech with quotas, right?
Oh yeah, same thing. Nice little break. All right, we're going on a tangent with selling uniforms though. That was, and be honest with you, the funnest I've ever had selling, even with copiers. Copiers was fun, but the uniform thing was just nuts because I probably shared this. We would do dumpster diving in competitors' dumpsters at night to go get the customer list.
Wow.
All sorts of goofy things. We follow the competitors' trucks around. They're on the route dropping
Well,
off the uniforms.
I've been known to do that, but never dumpster diving.
Dumpster dove. Everyone did it.
Oh
So
man.
that's why we had shredders. There, there was no computer. There was no computer. It was all the old Rolodex or the hanging files, the tickler files, everything.
Right.
So I just, I'm hearing a lot in the sales world of these applications. Now I'm just going to use the words because they're familiar. They're like little apps that tell you, I think we've talked about it before, but it'll give a salesperson information, right? Business intelligence on a group of, you can give it a list of 12 companies and it'll go out and find all this stuff out about it, right? And there was one time not that long ago when there weren't that many, systems that would do that as well. I hooked up with one a long time ago called Zenia, Zinnia, I think. And I liked it because they were at the time the first ones doing it. No one was really doing it as powerful as they were. Now I was like, there's at least a dozen that I hear from. And these companies are maybe 5, 6, 12 employees, but they've got what we would call the old school days scrapers, right? They would scrape information off of LinkedIn and all this other stuff. But when they throw AI at it, it's a lot more comprehensive and up to date, and it's beyond LinkedIn. So, I mean, that's one thing Art, the reason it's coming up so much is because I've been dinking around with that LLM or that chat GPT thing that
Right.
we've been using. And as much as I like to hear that from these other folks, they're obsolete already. That's what's so weird about this. They're going to market with $1,500 a year, $2,000 a year, and we will give you all the intelligence you need to run your, to get a new prospect, to put them through a sales cycle, all talk the talk, the same talk, enter it into Salesforce without you keystroking it in, integrate with your note taking, just all that crap is done for you, right? Supposedly, until it doesn't work. But like and then, you and I have been goofing around with this thing, but it works. We didn't need to buy anything. We didn't need to rely on someone else's expertise who is making a cookie cutter solution for a non-cookie cutter problem. That's the other things. Like,
Right.
That's really great, but can you tell me what I can do with these companies just around the block? Well, no. Okay. All right. And is my email going to look exactly like someone else's email that you're another customer of yours email? Yeah, probably. That's not going to work when you can do this thing for pennies and still sell. That's another thing, Art, I've noticed is like a lot of this stuff is automate the process, which I get, but some of I can't believe it's actually stealing the soul of what it used to mean to actually sell and talk to people. We're automating even that out of it. So those are the observations that hit me this week with AI. Interesting though.
Yeah.
What's the?
Yeah, I just got an important email in, so I'm toggling back and forth. I apologize. John, what did you think of the review we had on Tuesday? You were on the call, right?
Yes. That was very interesting. I think that opened a lot of reps' eyes to what's out there. Because they know how hard it is to begin a process. If I'm moving into new territory, I want to expand my new customer list. Where do I start? Well, can you ask a question and you can get started? I thought that was amazing. The ease of that, and I started using it too in Google, specifically as natural language questions. That top answer that in Google now is not ChatGPT. What do they call it?
Gemini.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And I tell you what, I've got some great answers out of that.
That is so cool to hear.
And I like the fact that it, just like in ChatGPT, it cites all the sources, and that's important, because when somebody asks me a question, does this phone work with this phone system? That was one of the things I just asked it. I have to be right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Because if I say yes and they buy the system and it doesn't work,
Yep, and that's something it wasn't doing 3 to 4 months ago.
Absolutely. I mean, it was a shot.
Exactly.
It's two things. first off, they didn't cite the sources, which was weird because Perplexity to me at one point was the only one that would actually list out the links and the sources.
Mhm.
Then secondly, if it did list a link, it could have been a dead link. It was made up. It's
Right.
like, dude, you're killing me with this. What are you doing? So, but now you're right. They're pretty tight. But I think what's good about that is at least now humans have to double check. You just got to double check it, right?
Mhm.
And if you're generating, 800 words, just as an example, out of a GPT or something,
Mhm.
and it gives you some, 5 or 6 links, take the time to double check the links. That's all.
Yep.
Yeah.
You didn't write 800 words. It didn't take you 4 days to put your spots. You've saved so much time over there. Validate.
Yeah.
You got extra time to do it.
Yeah. And it's nice that it gives you another voice to speak in. So your emails look, different. If you're providing content, if you were, providing all those email content, that's nice. It makes it simple.
It's nice, yeah, and it's just the beginning and all that stuff. But
Yeah, for many of us that might be grammatically challenged, like myself, it does wonders.
Oh my God.
And will it proofread what you've written? Can you submit, I don't know, a blog and say, hey, can you proofread this for?
Yeah. I just put in check grammar, check spelling,
Nice.
rewrite if needed,
Nice.
and
Nice.
bang, it gives it to me.
Very
Well,
cool.
now that we're talking about it, there's actually 2 things that happened this week that are real interesting on the AI front. One is with OpenAI, and the other one is with Google, not Gemini, but the Notebook LM, which everyone heard about. I think about the Google quantum computer thing.
Yes.
This year.
Yes.
But
Big news.
they also updated their LM Notebook LM thing, which not many people know about. We'll talk about that. But the OpenAI thing with their projects, it's a new, I don't even want to say option, new feature. Okay. And that's selling it short. It's called projects. So what everyone thinks of, it's a folder where you can put all your stuff that you're working on to do this project,
Mhm.
which sells it completely short. Right. It's almost alive because it remembers everything that you converse with it forever.
Oh, wow.
And it learns from it. So, and you can have conversations. So like a GPT, you set up instructions,
Yeah.
you give it certain things, then you give it a knowledge base of documents and stuff that it draws on first and then goes out to the internet. I'm being real broad, but that's basically what it is, right?
Okay.
With GPT, the memory only exists as long as that session. All right. So if something goes through a session and I go, oh, I like the way that is, I want this to happen to my GPT all the time, I have to have that instruction set made and then paste it back into the GPT,
Yeah,
which is
that's
no
correct.
big deal. No big deal, right? You can do that. But with projects, you don't do that. You go into the project, you do your work, you communicate. And what's great about it is if we could set up a sales role playing project, right? And every rep on the team can role play with that thing, and it remembers everything from all those folks and how they had challenges and how they overcame those challenges. So now it knows that, John Doe went through this challenge. It's in my memory bank, and this is how we got around that. So when Jane Doe comes in and has a similar thing, it draws on that memory and pulls it in.
Now, is that in GBT or is that
That's chat.
different?
That's OpenAI's Chat GPT projects.
Got it, in projects. So that's another
I
click
believe it is.
app they have in the service.
It's you have your GPTs and you have your projects. So it's
Got
another
it.
things like that. And be honest, I just started like 3 or 4 days into it. But then when you attach the voice thing to it, it's scary. This is another part of the scary thing because it'll bring up stuff that you forgot it learned, 6-8 hours ago.
That's
Or
amazing.
whatever. Yeah.
Right. That's what you showed a couple of days ago, right? I saw it on LinkedIn.
I didn't show projects. That's a GPT.
Right.
So that's a Frankenstein monster that you create and unleash into the wild. And if you want to put a new skull on it, you reprogram it, quote unquote, and then it releases again. Where the project is, the animal goes out into the wild and learns that fire hot. What was that? Wasn't that Young Frankenstein?
Yes, yes. My
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
So there was something else that was it AI released? Some type of video
Oh
process.
yeah, they released Sora.
That was it. And
Okay, yeah, you're right, Art. Actually, yeah, that's huge. And they aren't the only ones. There's like 4 or 5 different groups that came out with their text to video, which means, type in a scene. I'm on Mars with an astronaut. I don't have a spaceship. I need to survive for the next 3 weeks. Go, boom. And it creates that.
Wow.
Now, the challenge in the past is once it creates it, that's it. You can't really go back and re-edit or iterate upon that.
Right.
The Sora stuff and the new stuff is, yeah, you can. Oh, you know what? No, I don't. I want his hair to be red. Oh, make her look more like whoever, Farrah Fawcett or whatever, and it'll do that. Now, right now, I
So
mean,
is it animated or just a still picture?
animated's easy because then it doesn't have to look real.
Correct.
So, but they're going for real live video, and let me tell you, it's pretty good. It's the worst it will ever be, too. It's always going to get better.
Oh yeah.
So
Amazing.
and yeah, amazing. But now the processing power, you can get maybe 8-12 minutes of video, but this is all hardware. It's just going to change and all that stuff. But yeah, Sora, and now they're both Google and OpenAI are just releasing something a day every day until the end of the year. So that's crazy. What else? Oh, so I don't know. The Notebook LM, right? It's designed to help students study. It's a software package at Google. You just load in all these documents, whatever they are, and it'll create a study plan. It goes through. It is really, really good, actually. But what the key thing was, it'll create a podcast based on that material that you put into its knowledge base, and it's a 2-person podcast talking about the material that you put in a conversational way. So if you think back in college, right? If you took in all your assignments, gave it to this machine, okay, and say, hey, make a briefing, give me a 1-page briefing, put a study plan together, create some quiz questions based on that. It'll do
Right.
all that. And oh, by the way, put together a discussion between 2 people about all the subjects in that content. And boom, you can't tell either. I'm telling you, you can't tell that there's a guy and a girl and they're talking about the materials that you just put in. So you could sit there and listen to it. And the key there is you listen to it and you learn, right? So and I've got a couple posted already. Well, their update is not only can you listen to it while it's playing, you can inject a question. So it'll be playing, you hit a button, share, and it says, oh, someone wants a question. It actually says, dude, I was freaked out. It's like, oh,
That is
someone has a
weird.
question. Go ahead. What's your question? And you talk to it. And it's it's the pause isn't even that much. It's like, damn. It goes, that's a good question. Now that's a stall technique, right? That's a good question. Well, I'm thinking. Again.
Uh-huh.
Boom, and then it goes. And the stuff it comes back with is
Right.
stuff they weren't talking about right then.
Hmm.
Right? So they'll say, oh yeah, that's a good question. And according to this, that, here's your answer. And then the damn thing said, and getting back to our original subject, you faced me on that, dude. Yeah. And it goes on. So that is an upgrade that came this week. Nobody even knows about it. It's mind blowing.
So the question then becomes how can reps use that to their advantage, right?
Here it is, Art. It's a GPT on super turbocharged, absolutely crazy steroids, right? Because
Is that on the pay version?
well, on the OpenAI, yes. On
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Google side,
Okay.
what they just introduced though is a pay version, right? But there is
Right.
the free side. I imagine someday, right? But now we've got 2 different things working in the same area, except for this one is free. OpenAI is whatever GPT. The other one was designed to help students study, and now we're just using it for different things.
Correct. That's a notebook, right?
That's Notebook.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with GPT right now because I'm familiar with it. I like it a lot, and the voice, I've been using the voice on the phone, like that thing I put on LinkedIn for the last few days. Pretty. It's scary, dude. I mean, it comes up with answers and stuff that are just crazy. I asked it to introduce itself now, and it does like it's a human.
Right.
It's nuts, but it's
Yeah,
great.
interesting. Hey, so Greg, I'll ask you, and then I'll start with John. You got any prognostications for 2025 since we're at the end of the year?
Well, yeah, I have two. Yeah, I will release my list of predictions again, but and it's all AI. So along the AI front, sure, yeah. Agents are going to be a big deal. You can probably hear more about swarms, swarms of AI agents working with together. I think that the big thing in 2025 is going to be Grok. I think Musk's AI is going to hit, and only because of the big thing he did in Tennessee with his NVIDIA farm of I forget what he said. He's got like 100,000 GPUs out there, and he wants to go to 1 million. That's huge, which is really funny because I'm glad you asked that. Just an hour ago, I noticed that Grok is free on Twitter now. It used to be billable, so I ran out and played with it. It's fast as
Right.
it is fast. It's like whoa.
Hmm.
So and then no one's talking about it, right? You don't hear that much about it. As a matter of fact, he's kind of a pariah to the legacy media. So you won't get to hear, but it's going to sneak up on everyone. I think that's going to happen. Hardware wise, it's going to be a big deal. I think because Intel, no one here, they laid off a shitload of people. Those Intel based, those DOS based chips are going to run up against the wall when it comes to AI. That's why the NVIDIA chips are so different. They're manufactured for a different purpose than the old Intel, even the Apple ARMs and all that stuff. So, and it's just dumb luck. So I think they're going to take off hardware wise. In our industry, I don't know. I don't know. I think if we can just maintain, we should be fine.
Right.
I don't see any great big advancements. I don't, just got to keep our head down and keep going. Even our guys trying to sell AI, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
Absolutely not.
It's not going to happen. It's not designed to be sold. It's designed to be used, which is totally different. Yeah.
Right.
So.
How about you, John?
What's coming for 2025? I don't know. That's a good question because the technology that I use really it's gotten much better and much faster, but it's kind of the same. I work in the kind of the same field that I did,
Right.
20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We're scanning stuff, we're storing stuff. What we're doing with that information is changing with AI, with better algorithms to look at pages. That's changing, so it'll probably get faster, easier to use.
Right.
I would imagine the companies we work with for software are all going to add some flavor, shape, or form of AI to keep up with the, market. And I think hopefully it makes our job easier. I'd rather give 100 pages to AI and say, here, read these, pull the information out instead of me doing it manually. So that would be nice.
John, you can do that now.
Now,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, you can.
As part of, yeah, right. I mean, as part of our, our collection of softwares that we currently sell. I don't know if we're going to have, a lot more, but our main doc management system is partnered with an AI firm from Germany, and they can do some amazing stuff. So, that kind of is here, but still, it's a little bit. No one really knows how it's used and how it determines stuff. When I asked, what happens when a name has a suffix, and they said, oh, it reads it. And I said, how does it know? They said, I don't know.
It just does.
It just does.
Well, it's funny you say that because that's coming out a lot with this AI
Yeah.
stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, but it just
They're
came
not
up with that.
sure.
Oh.
but it works. So, that's what we're gonna.
Years ago, in the analog world, I used to call that conditions. It just, it's stuff that just happens and you don't question why it happens.
The cycles over why. Just I meant to say there's one more thing, guys. Warfare. Totally different in the next 12 months. Totally.
Maybe that's what they're practicing for in New Jersey.
I can comment on that if you like. I know what it is. It's happened 3 times before, the last 3 or 4 years before Christmas. They've been cited over California, different sites, different military sites. It's logistics. How do you win wars?
Communication.
Logistics. You got to get the tanks and the men from here to there faster than anyone, especially with us. That's what, we move shit all over the world in 8 hours. Their logistics drones tracking and plotting air routes to get materials quicker out of those bases into whatever theater they have to go to autonomously. Now, I guess, okay, so that's kind of interesting. That's what hey, these aren't aliens because aliens don't have red and green lights.
Correct. Yeah.
All right.
And a beacon going off. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
An orb is just a white light behind a cloud, dude. So
yeah, it's a fuzzy star.
It's a fuzzy star that's moving. So honestly, I didn't think of that myself. I heard another quote expert say that. Okay, that makes sense because Florida's got them, we got them, but they're over other sites. And if have you ever seen one, Art, or not? Have you
what
one of the drones or those UFOs flying over New Jersey? Have you?
No, I haven't seen one yet. We thought we saw one last Friday evening, although we weren't sure. I mean, I live in an area where flights can come in to go over our skies to Kennedy, LaGuardia, and sometimes they'll even go into Liberty in Newark. So we have a ton of plane traffic that you can look up into the sky and you can see maybe 20 different planes in the sky en route to their destinations or even taking off from those airports.
Yeah.
So it's unless it's hovering 200 feet above my house, I don't know. But somebody put a real good comment. They said to take your microwave, put it outside the house and plug it in for 30 minutes. And if you get a drone, they're looking for radioactive material. That's been some of the comments on social media, is that they're trying to track radioactive material.
Interesting.
But anyway,
you'd have to think that microwaves use radioactivity to cook, but they don't. But that's okay. That's all right.
I'm not a scientist. I'm a copier salesperson.
Yeah, exactly. It's all good.
Hey, so here's my thoughts. I think we're going to see an influx of embedded AI in all the manufacturers' MFPs within the next 12 months. That's one. Yeah. So Xerox kind of put something in their machines. I don't know if it's embedded or if it works outside with an app, but I think we're going to see that more into the copy machines, not only on the client side for clients, but also embedded into the machines for probably maintenance and support. So that's one. Two, I think IDP is even going to play a bigger role. As John was saying, they're going to beef up that intelligent data processing with more artificial intelligence, because the bulk of documents now isn't coming from paper-based forms. It's coming from digital forms, PDFs, Word documents that are coming in via email.
They're digital. They're digital native. Yeah.
Correct. So that percentage where there was maybe an 80% of paper-based documents that had to be processed, now that's going down to about 50.
Which kind of segues nice because right now everyone's arguing that you can't have good AI without good data. I mean, John, you've heard that, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
You got to clean up your data before you throw AI at it.
Yep.
I believe that's incorrect, but that's just me. I think that's a bunch of data scientists trying to maintain a level of relevancy. AI should be able to cut right through whatever data you got.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Structured, unstructured, whatever. But yeah, that's pretty good because like we talked about before, right? We need to digest all these data files, documents into the systems. And once it's in there, then the AI can handle that. I don't know, you've always been a proponent of throwing AI at it to make sure that the machines are self-diagnosing and service side, which I agree with 100%. I think especially the more that go out, the ones that do go out are more important than the ones that went out in the 1980s and the 1990s. The more integral, people need that system to do whatever they're doing.
Well, copy machines are communication devices.
Absolutely.
Right?
The first ones, people forget that.
Yep. And the manufacturers need to improve that communication. I think AI will do it, especially with, we've spoken about this before. I know it's not AI, but something like a Twain Direct that can embed in the MFPs.
Oh no, yes.
Right? Items, I would love to see a Twain Direct get embedded into MFPs.
I thought it was.
I think it would be easier for the end users to scan because the default scanning now is basically PDF, right? And you're either going to scan it back to folder, you're going to scan it back to email, and that free software does is that software will actually tell you, it'll read the document and tell you what the best scan is going to be.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean, like best format out or the best?
The best way to scan. So let me jump back for a moment. The Twain Direct software, right, can manage all of your scanners in your office, so they all scan identically. Pretty much like setting up your MFPs, so your MFPs always have the same address books, right?
Make sure the color always looks the same from all the devices.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. So when we were at that meeting in Florida, we were actually talking about the need to. Most users don't. They put the piece of paper in, they scan it, they send it away. They then look it up and they find out it didn't scan correctly. It was crooked. Maybe the DPI was too low. Maybe the document had very, very small print in it, right? So they didn't compensate for the small print in the document and increase the dots per inch. So then they've got to go back and then rescan that document.
Okay.
Right? So that Twain Direct, if they embed that into MFPs, it's going to give end users more ability to have the better scans. That
autonomously, like out of the box, they don't have to worry about adjusting or skewing or
right.
So that should be that can all be set up by a developer.
Right.
I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. If you have a tough time reading it, the AI can look at it and say, oh, well, those letters are too small. I need high resolution, or it's crooked. Let me straighten it out. Some of the software now can, I swear, after it goes through the process of cleanup, those documents look pristine.
Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely no.
And I could not believe how some of these new systems are working.
I think if you look at some of the film, like what they did with Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford, They
Oh, yeah.
de-aged him. They de-aged him. It was a big deal. That's not a big deal anymore. If you go, all right, forgive me for this. If you go to TikTok, they have built-in filters. These women, they run with filters all the time, so that when you look at it, oh yeah, and then they go, well, this is without a filter.
Okay.
Yep.
Same thing with the
Yep.
scan. I mean, it's the same basic. So the AI technology is looking at the face. It's finding what is enhanceable. Let's put it that way. Okay.
Right.
And then it makes the enhancements live. That's
Yeah.
the trick. It's
In
like,
in video. Yeah,
as
it's
it's
pretty
going,
impressive.
holy moly, how do they do
Yeah.
that? And it's not a, it's not a mask. It is a true filter, because when they smile and they move, it
Mhm.
all is like, you can't tell. I mean, you can tell, but you can't tell, right? It's not like wearing a mask. So I imagine that kind of AI technology in a scan doc, and I'm glad you brought this up, Art. The whole thing with artificial intelligence is the sensors. It's its connectivity to the real world, and scanning is like, you can't get any more basic in a business world than taking a piece of paper or an invoice or a digital or a fax or whatever and putting it into your digital system. That's about as real as it gets.
Right.
I mean, that's A plus B equal, so it's
Mhm.
it's a process. So what we're talking about, yeah, Art, that's a really good idea, and just have it like you said. Well, I remember
Yeah.
putting in a Panasonic scanner that had de-skew and de-speckle, and that was cool, right?
Yes.
We would put stuff that had coffee stains and red white
Yes.
stains on it, and it was crooked and had a paper clip on it.
Mhm.
Chugged it through, and all of a sudden,
Blank page detection,
yeah.
red dropout.
Remember how cool that was? That's
Mhm.
nothing.
Mhm.
Right.
So-
Yeah. So I think in order for the manufacturers, and the manufacturers are still about selling boxes. I believe that they need to, 2025 is when they need to add sizzle, right? Some sort of sizzle's got to be in the machine to get these users to upgrade to another machine, the next best thing. And for me, the next best thing is going to be built-in AI. I'm not sure whether it's used on the scanning end, whether it's used to help end users navigate at the machine,
Yeah, at the
or
user
they read a
interface.
document and they say, okay, this is an AP document. Don't you want to send this to this person, that person, this person? Right?
That's it right there. The workflow. Yep.
Correct.
I would imagine that because they do it right. Yeah, it's levels above what it was just, god dang, 18 months ago.
So John, correct me if I'm wrong. I still believe when you're scanning certain documents, you still have to put in some of the document management software. When you're keying in a paper-based document on the MFP screen, you have to put in metadata.
It all depends. It all depends.
Correct.
I mean,
So
ultimately,
there are some programs out there where you
yes,
do have to put in metadata,
yes,
right?
yes.
Really? So
So
you
I
still
guess
have to put in the key in the fields and
Right.
all that stuff.
lot
The
number,
lower
block
end,
number, account number,
It-
address,
and it
whatever.
all depends on the situation too, because it depends whether it's structured or unstructured data. It depends whether there's a lot of handwriting involved. It depends how much the customer wants to spend. There's all kinds of scenarios where you may have to include metadata. We
So
try
are
to
you saying
avoid
that
that, obviously,
as
but
opposed to pulling the data off of the document, you have to actually attach a metadata to it, so it's
yes,
indexed? Is that what you're saying?
Type
yes,
it in the screen in the MFP.
yes.
Yeah, but that's got to be less than 1%, right?
It's
Or am
it's
I?
very small. Yeah, it's very small. Almost everything we are doing. And this is with more advanced software. We are doing a doctor's office and patient charts,
Oh God.
and there are hundreds of different kinds of patient charts, but there are commonalities between them: patient number, date, um, procedure, stuff like that we can look for and determine where all those different visits happened and organize their chaos of paper into an electronic format that goes right up to their EMR system.
So what you're saying is there is a pattern that we don't recognize as humans, but there could be some device, some sort of application, some sort of something that
Yes,
is really good at recognizing patterns,
yes,
like languages, like large languages, and maybe a model, like a large
yes.
language model that might be able to take a look at all that stuff and recognize a pattern
while it's being
Yeah.
scanned.
while it's being
Sometimes,
scanned.
yes, exactly.
Or
Instead of
maybe even before.
right. Because right now, John, most of that's happening up in the cloud, right?
We have,
Yeah.
it could, yes. We also have a version that, well,
Wait a minute.
yes, the AI functionality is absolutely all, at least for now, cloud-based,
Oh,
at least for now.
I was talking hypothetical. Okay, so you do have the ability to
Yeah,
scan that in. It goes up to the cloud, blah 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 blah, and then sent out to where it should based on
Yep.
what it's scanned in the AI
Yep.
application.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All
yep.
right.
We've set it up. We demoed it for customers, and it is magic.
Yeah. It was pretty good before. I mean, I did a DocuWare solution, huge freaking DocuWare solution that was nightmarish looking back on it, but it was cutting edge for them, and
Oh, yeah.
it did a pretty good job.
And DocuWare has its fair share of AI-like functionality,
Yeah,
but
Right.
machine language maybe.
as of beginning of next year, it is a full-fledged AI engine in the background that will process anything.
Oh, really, John? Really?
Mhm.
Well, there,
Yep.
Art, that's big,
Yeah.
John. You should have started there. What engine are they using? Do you know by any chance? Or
From a German company called Natif, Natif, Natif. They are they've been around for a long time. You know,
native?
DocuWare is a German company.
Native.
And when I say a long time, a couple of years. How long is it? Yeah. So they have been spending the last year or so integrating their functionality into DocuWare's functionality and making them talk to each other. So it's a really amazing
Okay.
possibility.
Yeah. Well, there's your 2025 right there with DocuWare hitting AI big time, Art. And so right now it's up in the cloud, but are they talking edge at all or moving or
Another company that we work with does license an AI model to a company, but it is the download for the AI engine is like 10 gigs. So it's a big deal. I mean, if they want to run it locally, there's a lot of hardware involved and a lot of processor involved in
admin or
memory.
something like that?
What's that?
Like WebJet admin? Remember that thing? The
Oh, yeah,
HP
it's just
web-
like WebJet admin. Yeah. I use that a lot.
It's the greatest 10 gig app you'll ever get.
You gotta think, what else is it doing that it needs all this data that you're downloading? What the hell are you putting on your network?
It's ready for anything.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, so
see how that example applies. It's like, okay, I know that thing was a hog up memory, but okay, so AI is going to come down, but it's 10 gig. Yeah, but WebJam and right.
I mean, the thing is with AI with the optimization of the large language models, you can put a functional AI it's called OLAMA, a functional AI framework, and download large language models that will fit onto a Raspberry Pi. I did it, and I asked it, "How do you train your dog?" And after a few minutes, it took a while, but I got all my answers and how to make a roux and how to do give me a review Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And it worked. There's on the small one, there was like 9 billion data points.
Yeah. On
The bigger one had 27 billion, but it wouldn't fit on the Raspberry Pi. But it worked. It did. It's coming.
I love it.
It's here. I should say it's here. We just got to figure out what to do with it.
2025 prediction there was that DocuWare that applies to our industry.
Yes.
I haven't spoken to any of them those folks in a while. I don't know if they're rolling it out or whatever, but okay,
A lot
cool.
of cool stuff.
Yeah, good. Oh,
So-
Art,
so
do you
John-
want to show us something or not? I hate that bringing up.
Nah, you know what? I can't.
Okay.
We're not going to hear the audio on Zoom. You'll see the video, but the audio is what makes it unique,
Got it.
Gotcha.
right? So, John, do you think these types of AI chips will make it into MFPs? Or is everything going to be cloud?
Because it's so easy to use AI in the cloud. The requirements on our side of that interaction are so minimal. Why not just use the cloud? Obviously, there are security aspects of that have to be addressed.
There are certain clients that don't want to use
Would
the
never
cloud
want
at
to.
all.
Nothing leaves.
Right.
They want nothing to do with the cloud.
Right. But if I can put, Gemini on my phone, it's not using my phone to generate answers. It's going to the cloud, coming back with an answer. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to do that with a copier. So I don't know. Will they ever put a chip powerful enough to run it locally? I mean, again, it'll run on a Raspberry Pi. So
No,
I would
that's coming.
imagine,
No,
yes.
no, that's coming. It may not go to copiers, but it's coming down to us individually. That is, yeah, the NVIDIA GPUs. Yeah, and a combination of that and an ARM. It's not here yet though, but yeah, that's coming. Everyone's going to have their own AI.
Mhm.
We didn't even talk about robots next year.
I'm scared of what the robots that Tesla's making.
Be afraid.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and then don't you dare look at China because they got stuff over there that is just nuts. It's like,
I can't
are you
imagine.
kidding me? And they don't even care. There's like robots that look like a big old tire rolling down the middle of the street with red and blue lights. There, it's a cop robot. What?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
They're putting guns on them.
They're not afraid of being sued.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
Well, Greg, you know where I'm going to go back to, right? Somebody's going to need to fix them before they're going to be able to fix themselves.
they're going to be able to fix themselves. The
At
robots are
some
gonna
point in the
fix the
future,
robots.
at some point in the future, but probably for the next 20, 30 years.
No, Art.
No, I don't agree with you, Greg.
They're growing robots in petri dishes right now.
Oh my goodness.
They've synthetically generated neurons. Whatever the hell that is, I don't even know what that is. It's like, okay, cool. It'll think, oh, in a petri dish. It's not Star Wars, it's Blade Runner.
Scary.
Your basic pleasure unit.
With that, we are at 5:02 on Friday.
All
All
It
right.
is the witching
Good
hour.
job, guys.
And it's another show of Ask Us Anything. John, we thank you for your questions. We thank you for your continued
John,
support
thanks for coming
on the
on.
show.
Thank you.
Greg, as always, you enjoy the weather in Florida, dirty dog.
It's going to be cold tomorrow, like in the 40s in the morning. What the
It's going to
hell?
be, I think, 19 here in New Jersey, and where John lives, it's probably going to be like 10.
It's going to feel like 10 in the
Okay.
tundra that is central PA.
And
Well, I can appreciate it because I've been in it. So hats off to you guys.
it's just a couple of days before snow starts to settle in at different places. Oh, on a good note, right? Isn't the 21st the winter solstice?
Oh, could
It's
be.
coming up. Yeah, it might be.
So if it's the 21st,
That's
which
tomorrow.
is tomorrow, we have something to look forward to.
That's right.
The days now get longer.
More daylight.
We are on the flip side of darkness. We're now getting lighter. So that's going to be a good thing. Everybody, thank you very much. Tune in next time. We'll be on the 27th.
Yep.
And we'll be celebrating New Year's. So
That's going to be those shows are going to be good.
yes, they are. So please tune in. Remember to like, follow, and share. Till next time.
See you, everyone.
See ya.